really excited to tell you about my new series called Kitty is Not a Cat. It's a beautifully warm and funny series about a little girl called Kitty who comes to live in a great big old dilapidated mansion with a house full of music-mad jazz cats. Now Kitty thinks she's a cat, but Kitty is not a cat. Hi, I'm Jess Black, children's author, and I'm here today to talk about my new series, Kitty is Not a Cat. Kitty is Not a Cat is a junior fiction chapter book series about a little girl called Kitty who comes to live in a house full of music-mad jazz cats. This series focuses on that time in a child's life where you believe that anything is possible. The future is yours to create through your imagination, and Kitty, she believes that she can be anything she dreams of, even a cat. Now the cats take her on and she comes to live with them, and they try to teach her what it means to be human. But of course, being cats, they have absolutely no idea, which leads to all sorts of trouble and fun. The book series is based on a really popular animation series created by Bruce Kane and Maurice Argiro, and series 2 is coming to Channel 7 really soon. In 2018, I was approached by Hachette Australia to write the series. It was a new challenge for me. I've actually written for television before, a TV series based on a book series, but to write a book series based on a television series was something different altogether. I had to reduce each television episode down to its core, find out what was at the very heart of each story, and then develop that in print. What really helped was that all of the characters in Kitty is Not a Cat are very strong and well developed. This series has heaps of energy and humour. You have a little girl who doesn't speak, although she does meow, and all of the cat characters speak and don't meow. So you have this fantastic reversal where the cats appear to be acting like humans and a little girl called Kitty appears to be acting like a cat. The cats are trying to teach Kitty what it means to be human, and every book is about a different scenario that we as people can relate to. For instance, in the first book, Lights Out, it's all about Kitty having trouble getting to sleep. Now, I don't know about you, but I've had many years of my daughters having different issues when it comes to night fears. Sometimes it might be that they're scared of the dark or they've had a nightmare. My youngest daughter actually sleepwalks, so that makes for all sorts of interesting stories. In Lights Out, Kitty suddenly finds it difficult to get to sleep, and the cats can't figure out why this would be. They love the night time. In fact, their vision at night is even better during the day. And they finally figure out that it's because Kitty actually needs a nightlight, and that helps her get to sleep. Another example of a story that kids can really relate to is Teddy's bear. The cats decide to give Kitty a special toy of her very own, and they decide to give her a teddy bear. The problem is, they have absolutely no idea what a teddy bear is, and they end up giving Kitty a live grizzly bear as a special pet. Now you can just imagine what could possibly go wrong when you bring a live grizzly bear to your house. He's great fun, but he ends up kind of destroying everything. But of course, Kitty figures out a way for everything to end up well. I wrote the first 4 books in the series over a period of 18 months, and I worked with my publisher and editor at Hachette, as well as with BES, the company that created Kitty. All of the stories are told from Kitty's point of view, and this was another challenge for me while writing the series because Kitty doesn't speak. All she does is meow, which is actually quite clever because it keeps alive the illusion that perhaps Kitty could be a cat. We're not quite sure. I really enjoyed spending time in Kitty's world, and I know you will too. It's full of fun and mischief and craziness, And it's also filled with music. All of the cats play various instruments, and Kitty sings and dances. So it was lots of fun for me to try to take all of the musical element of the series and put that into the book. One thing that I particularly enjoyed while writing the series is looking at human habits and looking at them from a fresh perspective. So in one of the books, Kitty is a little bit dirty and she needs to have a bath. Of course, cats hate having baths. Turns out they've never actually been into the bathroom in their house. They call it the wash house. And they're absolutely horrified to find out that humans actually wash and toilet in the same room. So that book was lots and lots of fun to write. Themes that come up again and again in the book series are loyalty, family, friendship, creativity, and resilience. You will absolutely fall in love with the characters in the series. It's very difficult for me to pick favourites, so I won't. I'll start out by telling you a little bit about Kitty. Kitty is a fearless protagonist. She is a very strong-willed little girl who's very loyal to everyone that she loves. She longs to be a cat and sees absolutely no reason why she can't. Kitty is often a complete handful for the poor cats who spend a lot of their time trying to parent her and having absolutely no idea how to parent a little girl who thinks she's a cat. Timmy Tom is the youngest of all of the cats. He's Kitty's best friend and favourite playmate. Unlike the others, he thinks he can teach Kitty how to be a cat because he also believes that he's at the age where if you believe in something, then you can make it happen. He has absolutely no interest in teaching her how to be human. The Naz is the wisest of all of the cats and is a little bit of a father figure to Kitty. Sometimes the Naz is a little bit world weary. He is the cat who often cleans up all of the messes that Kitty and the cats create, but I don't think he'd rather have it any other way. King Tubby. Although he's the king of the cats, he's not very bright. King Tubby puts on airs and graces to hide his ignorance, and his kingliness is largely ignored by the other cats. He has all sorts of wonderful catchphrases like house meeting and allow me to explain, and he's most likely to be found lounging around on his throne. Last Chance is on the last of his 9 lives. He's so battered and bruised, he's got crutches, he's got his arm in a sling, but although he only has 1 life left, he's always to be found at the centre of the action. Last Chance never learns. There's a wonderful juxtaposition between the ramshackle, falling down, almost haunted looking mansion and what's going on inside the house. Inside the house is filled with love and joy and music. At any one time, there are a couple of cats jamming in all sorts of different rooms. The cats are a really tight-knit group and really look out for each other and love each other. Of course, they're all completely devoted to Kitty. I'm often asked about how the cats came to live in the house, and it actually turns out that they used to live with an old lady. Now, she passed on peacefully and she actually left the house to the cats in her will. So they have every right to live there and live there for the rest of their lives. One day, a small girl with 2 black pigtails knocks on the cat's front door. Before they know what's happened, she's moved in. The cats have a firm no humans policy. But the girl isn't like regular humans. She wears a bright orange costume with ears and paws and a tail, and she says, meow. Not that the cats know what that means. Her name is Kitty. They read it on her collar. It seems all Kitty wants to be is a cat, but Kitty is not a cat. The motley assortment of cats in the rundown old mansion loved nothing more than their weekly scary movie night. After dinner, they gathered on the living room couch for some spine-tingling, hair-raising entertainment. The TV glowed brightly in the darkening room. Cheetah was squirming with excitement. I've been looking forward to scary movie night all week. Cheetah was a tabby who didn't look much like a cheetah at all. but he did have lots of energy and trouble sitting still. "Tubby, better hurry up or he'll miss the beginning." "This week's movie is called Paranormal Activity," said the Naz, reading from the blurb. The movies were chosen by all the cats, but the Naz took his job of reading out the movie description very seriously. He used his best spooky voice for it. "Oh, listen," he said. "Warning, can reduce lifespan by up to 3 cat lives." "Well, I'm out," Last Chance cried, and he jumped awkwardly down from the couch on his peg leg and limped towards the door. "I've only got 1 life left." As the movie began, a series of chilling musical notes filled the room. Cheetah's eyes widened and he dived behind the Naz. "It's lucky Kitty's fast asleep in bed," the Naz said, glancing up at the ceiling. Suddenly, the room lit up. King Tubby was standing beside the light switch. "What are you doing, Tubby?" asked Cheetah. "Mood lighting," King Tubby said brightly. Cheetah ran over and switched the lights off with a scowl. "Scary movies have to be watched in the dark. That's the whole point." "Shh!" The Naz pointed upstairs. "You'll wake Kitty." And suddenly they heard a loud shriek. "Meow!" The cats looked at each other in surprise. "Kitty?" They dashed upstairs to find Kitty shaking in her bed box. Kitty had a nice, normal, comfortable bed, but she insisted on sleeping in a cardboard box. She felt it was more cat-like. "What's going on, Kitty?" the Naz asked. His voice made Kitty jump. She flipped her bed box over and hid underneath it. "It's just us, Kitty," said the Naz, gently lifting the box. "She looks terrified," said Cheetah. "She must have seen a monster," declared King Tubby, glancing worriedly at the shapes in the room. "It would only have been a shadow, a trick of the light," the Naz reassured them all. "Like this." He turned on a torch and shone it in his face. He looked ghastly. Kitty, Cheetah and King Tubby shrank back in fear. "You're just imagining things," the Naz continued, waving the torch around. But more shadows leapt out at them. "Ah!" yelled King Tubby in a strangled voice, running from the room. Cheetah dived under Kitty's real bed, and Kitty covered her eyes as the shadows loomed larger. Now she felt even more frightened. Then the Naz switched off the torch and they were in the dark once again. See? No more monsters. Kitty pulled a face. She wasn't so sure, but she got back into her bed box anyway. The cats took turns to kiss her goodnight. "We'll leave the door open," said the Naz. Left alone in the dark, Kitty squinted around the room fearfully and buried herself under the covers. I wonder just what will happen next. What will Kitty do about being afraid of the dark? You'll just have to read the story to find out. We've got Elias here today to ask me some wonderful questions. Fire away, Elias.
How many stories have you written?
Ooh, I think I'm up to about 45 now.
45?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is your favourite series you've written?
Ooh, that's a great question. There's 2. The Tales of Mr. Walker, because it was so charming and delightful and such a wonderful world to be in. But I also really loved The Kaboom Kid because my main character, Davey, was really naughty and it was really fun to have a main character who's always in trouble.
Is it easy to choose the characters?
Do you know what I do? I often go onto baby name websites and look for names that way because sometimes, yeah, it can be tricky to think up a new name.
Are the characters always human or animal?
So far, they've all been either human or animal, yeah. I know that you've written about lots of different things, haven't you? Mm-hmm. You wrote a story the other day about a sausage.
Is it hard to write?
To write a book, I'd say it takes up to about a year.